Hey, it's Mike Draper with AWC TV, and we're really excited today. Our July-August 2018 issue of American Window Cleaning Magazine just came out, and on the front cover of that is Craig Hendzel from Lakewood, Ohio, and that's exactly who we have on with us today. Craig, thanks for being on. We really appreciate you taking time out of your day to have a conversation with us today.
Not a problem. Thank you for having me.
No problem, man. I love that office background. It's really cool. Looks like you got a lot of artwork going on there.
I got 3 ladies in the house who do nothing but paint. It's artwork everywhere, paintings, pictures, I don't know, and a museum of guitars and music instruments. Everybody here dances, art, music. It's the way we live our life after our business.
There you go. Right on, man. I've had a couple conversations with you before, but tell me a little bit about your business. You're a multi-generational window cleaner, isn't that right?
That is correct. Going back into the early 30s, my grandfather worked for Lakewood Window Cleaning. In 1935, he purchased Lakewood Window Cleaning, got married, moved the family here to Lakewood from Tremont, Ohio, and from there it just kind of went in many directions. Back in those days, I don't know if many guys know this, but you know, the Depression days, you would do whatever you could, just like guys are doing with power washing and soft washing now. In those days, you would clean the coal chutes, you would clean the soot off from the stove, the back of the wall, the window behind the stove. Those were things my grandfather did. And, you know, we've seen the technology change and the industry change. And I've seen it go from the tools my grandfather used, which I still have a lot. My father, you know, I've still got I can't even count how many tools I have from him, to today. With the technology we have, it's just amazing to see the growth.
Yeah, it really is. So all the way back to 1935. So if you had to pick out one thing, what is one just big difference from the way we window clean now to what they used to in 1935?
I'll tell you, I don't know. I can't speak for everybody in every region, but the way we did it here was attention to detail. Rags. I probably carry more rags on my truck than anything else. And we wipe everything, tracks, frames, everything. You know, that's the detail that was passed down. You know, storefronts. My storefronts, their frames get done. If I got to get up on a stepladder to get to it, I'm going to do that. I want that transom sill clean, perfectly, spotless, just as clean as the window. It's the way it used to be here in my family. Other guys in the region did it the same way. But you know this, it's regional. We get salt. We get a lot of dirt and grime and shale off the cliffs over by the lake. You get some guys in the dry desert regions, you know, that's an easy clean. You know, you don't have that salt oxidizing on the frame. So
right.
You really got to be detailed here.
Yeah. Now, what type of window cleaning do you do? How would you describe your business?
I would say I'm a residential specialist, raised by such. You know, if I say going back to the beginning, I have done belt work, chair work, lift and scaffold work, ladders, poles, you name it, I've done it. Now, do I ever want to sit in a chair or hang off a building on a belt or go up on a scaffold or a lift anymore? Not really. That's not my deal. You know, I like to do nice detailed work on residential ladders and water fed. I love the water fed technology and how I've applied it to the residential. It's just amazing. And I'd say a residential, some storefronts and commercial buildings, water fed, traditional, you know, I don't know, a window cleaner.
Yeah,
we're all
cool.
the same. We're all window cleaners. Guys
That's
that get
right.
up and we go and we, you know, I don't know the language, we get on the glass.
Yeah. At the end of the day, you know, traditional, water fed, what we really all are is trying to get paid for a clean window, right? And so how we get it done is how we get it done, but that's the end goal for everybody.
Yeah, and to come home safe.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, you're speaking to the choir there. You know, I love talking about safety, but
I know. Every time I see that come up, I love seeing that. That's the most important thing, is the safety and how this technology that we've morphed into it. And a lot of this technology is so new. We're still learning all these different things about it, but the one most important thing is the impact on our body. And all that ladder work that we do over the years that I watched my grandfather do, my father, and all those guys back then destroyed their bodies. And we don't have to do that with the technology anymore.
Yeah. Do you remember, was your grandfather, by any chance, did he clean with, because 1935, that goes back prior to the T-bar, right? So probably a boar's hair brush?
I still got some of those sitting in there. I don't know the years on them, but even my father had picked up boar's hair brushes in his early days.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the wood poles, the boar's hair brushes, and you know, the old arrow squeegees. I posted one, and guys couldn't. What is that? It's an old arrow squeegee, and I actually took out the old rubber, convert them a little bit. I've got an old red one. It's a floor squeegee, but back in those days, they were one and the same. You know what?
Yeah.
They were doing the floors. Hey, go out there and do the glass with that thing. You know, try it on the glass. That's from what I understood from my grandfather. They used to go out there and they would scrub with the boar's hair. And initially, they're wiping with rags.
Yep.
They've got towels hanging all over the place. That's the towels.
Yeah.
Then he says somebody took a floor squeegee back then and tried it, and it worked. And those were heavy steel. You know that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Very cool. Yeah, a lot of guys now, I mean, the boar's hair brush, they kind of know about it because on a water-fed pole, right? But most guys don't realize that's what they used to clean with. And then the other thing is sponges. So sponges used to be a big part of the window cleaning business, kind of died off anymore. But those two things, man, they kind of went away. But they were very, very, very prominent in the window cleaning business early on.
You know, the sponges are funny because we had real sponges, synthetic sponges. And I'm a kid, and I'm holding on to this big old half moon synthetic sponge. You know those things.
Yeah.
Garbage. And my dad said, use that for the this and the that. You know what? And I says, no, I like the way Grandpa did it. He actually used towels. And we cut our little channels down to about 3-4 inches, and we come across the outer sill on the storefront frames with that. Just squeegee it off. Use an old squeegee rubber from one that went bad.
Yeah.
And my dad, always with that sponge. He says, look how much money you spend. They rot, you know, the chamois, the sponges, the salt that we deal with in this region. Those things didn't last. And that was a lot of money. And I says, we can do this a better way, a more efficient way. And now with the water fed, you know, come spring, every storefront that I have, they get water fed. I just flush them down and rinse out those frames, get that salt out of there. Oh, to think back, and chamois. I mentioned that, chamois.
Yeah.
You guys still use those things.
Yep, absolutely. So you obviously have come up, your grandfather, your father. Now I hear that you got somebody else joined the business, and you proud. That's got to make you proud.
You got that right. My stepdaughter Grace, she, you know, I don't even know how to express how proud we are of her. Full-time college. She was working 2 jobs, part-time jobs mixed in with college. She lost one job. The place closed. And she says, what am I going to do? I says, you got to think outside the box. So she want to work with you and this and that. We talked about it. So she comes to work with me. And then what does she do? She comes home after the first day and she goes out and replaces her night job at the restaurant with another night job at the restaurant. And the third day she worked with me was last Saturday, very hot here, about 100 degrees. Took her out to do some water fed. Now she gets home Friday night, 12:45. She gets to bed, and she's up by 4 in the morning, ready to go to work with me, out there doing water fed, her first time. Amazing. I just couldn't even believe it. I didn't even know that it existed anymore. Somebody who would get up, that she was ready to go, no complaints, and just did everything exactly the way you want them to do it the first time.
Yeah, that's awesome. And it's always a nice thing when your kids they get it and they enjoy what you do for a living as well. That's pretty cool. Where do you see your business? Do you see your business growing in some way? Do you see it expanding? Where do you want to see it in 5 years?
You know, that's the interesting thing. You see a lot of guys in the group forums and a lot of guys just talking about their businesses. Window cleaning is in my blood. It's my life. It's a flow. And I talk to a lot of guys. I say, you got to get into the flow. It's kind of a thing that, I don't know, it's a spiritual awareness of window cleaning. It's just every part of my being. So I have gone from working the days, the nights, the weekends like everybody else. You're young, you're hungry for money. I've been able to look at the business a different way. It's been able to sustain my family during crisis. You know, I could scale the business back anytime I want. I've got the clients that say, you know what, we're with you. We know about your situation. My dad had cancer, and he worked with, he did this job until he's about 70 years old, 13 years of cancer, hips, knees, and ankles replaced. The guy was beat up by this industry. When he got sick, I scaled the family business back and sent work to other guys and took up an actual employment position with another company here at night doing buildings, water fed. Gave me the time to take care of my dad. You know, this business gave that to me. I had to do my part, but it gave that to me, that ability. It's so, the dynamics of this business, it can give a lot to so many different people. And I've never really looked for money as the thing, because it's just a part of my life that will never end. So there's no pursuit for money or a finish line. It's just a constant. So I got to raise my daughter, who she's been out cleaning windows. Now she's not able to be hired on yet. She's only 10, going to be 10 here. Yeah. But, you know, I was able to scale the business back and work in between dropping her off at school, picking her up at school, be home to do all the homework, you know, be there for all those moments and those memories, and be at the school for plays and recitals. And now that she's getting older and she can start going to school on her own, and, you know, my wife, her stepmom, can take over and do a little bit here, and everybody's, you know, kind of moving on in life the way they move as they grow. I go back to work a little bit more. But, you know, we'll grow it. I like the idea of a family business, but I am looking for others outside. But I approach this. I won't hire anybody until I can pay them a complete year salary. And if that comes out of my pocket, I don't care if I get paid, if they get paid, but I want to be able to tell them, listen, you're going to get your money all year. I want you to train properly and take your time. You don't have to come in and rush through a job. Yeah. Now, I set Grace out on a job today. Don't rush through it. Take your time. We shave 45 minutes off. It's about a 2.5-hour job. Shave 45 minutes off. To me, I'm happy. Other guys, they want to shave 2 hours and make it a half-hour job. Whatever makes you happy.
Yeah. Well, very good. Yeah, it's very obvious to tell you really love the industry. I've had some other conversations with you, and you're really passionate about the industry. It's really cool. So I really appreciate talking to just a person that, I mean, 1935. Think about that for a second. I mean, the business going back that far, coming up, your grandfather raised your father raised you into the business. Now you're raising kids into the business. That's just really cool. You know, I've talked to some others that, you know, 88 years in the business, 100. It's just awesome. So you're unique, man. We really appreciate you taking some time today, coming on board with us, just having a little conversation so others can get to know you. And thank you so much. Appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Thank you for giving me this time.
No problem. Hey guys, check it out. Check out the July-August Craig Hendzel. We did an article on there on the most interesting person. And again, he's from Lakewood, Ohio, and it's got a really interesting story in there. So be sure to check that out. They're going in the mail this next week, and we hope you will enjoy them. I'm Mike Draper with AWC TV, signing off. Stay tuned for our next episode of AWC TV by following us on YouTube, Facebook, or our website, awcmag.com.